License to Fizz, a spoof in the spirit of the not-so-secret agent. Chapter 1. Blooms of Disaster. It was a bright morning at MI6 headquarters when Simon Bonk entered the building as only he could, by sliding heroically across the polished floor on 2 left shoes. He crashed into the reception desk, scattering paperwork like confetti. "Morning, Miss Coinwealth," he chirped. "Would you like to hear a budding joke about flowers?" Miss Coinwealth, whose soul had long since given up on experiencing joy during working hours, sighed. "No, Mr. Bonk." "Oh, you'll love this one," said Bonk, grinning. "What did the daisy say to the rose?" "I'm begging you not to," she muttered. "What's up, bud?" Bonk finished triumphantly. There was silence. Miss Coinwealth stared at him with all the enthusiasm of a drained car battery. "Mr. Bonk, Chief Honcho Wheel is waiting for you. Please, for all our sakes, go." Bonk winked. "You're a real petal, Miss Coinwealth." Her glare could have stripped paint. Chapter 2. The Fizz Briefing. Chief Honcho Heel looked up from a mountain of reports as Bonk burst into his office, knocking over an umbrella stand in the process. "Ah, Bonk," said Honcho Heel dryly, "how lovely of you to crash in." "Just keeping the element of surprise alive, sir," Bonk said, saluting the window instead of the chief. Honcho Heel exhaled. "We've got a situation, Bonk. A madman calling himself Mr. Fizz, real name Percival Fizzington, plans to create the largest chemical explosion in history." "Chemical, sir?" "Yes, Bonk. He's built a volcano filled entirely with cola." Bonk blinked. "That sounds delicious." "It won't be when he drops the world's largest mento into it. The resulting explosion will wipe out life on Earth. Mr. Fizz and his dog, Julian, intend to escape into space and return once humanity's been reduced to sticky sludge." Bonk frowned. "A cola apocalypse. Diabolical." "Precisely. You're to infiltrate his base in New Zealand and stop him before he drops that minty menace." And Bonk, "Yes, sir. Try not to cause any unnecessary eruptions." Bonk nodded solemnly. "I'm always professional, sir." He then stood, tripped over his shoelace and crashed into the chief's bookshelf. Chapter 3. Gizmo's Glorious Garbage. Down in the MI6 tech lab, Barnaby Gizmo was surrounded by sparks, smoke, and a suspicious smell of vinegar. "Bonk!" Gizmo exclaimed, adjusting his welding goggles. "Just the man I need for some practical testing." "I'd rather not be practical or tested," Bonk replied cautiously. "Nonsense! Feast your eyes on these." Gizmo held up a bright red ketchup bottle. Bonk blinked. "Lunch? Science!" Gizmo declared. "This bottle, when squeezed, releases a chemical spray that defizzes any carbonated drink instantly. Useful for picnics," Bonk muttered. "Next," Gizmo said, handing over a sleek pair of sunglasses, "these detect Mentos. Wherever there's a mint, you'll know." Bonk put them on. "Everything looks the same." "Yes," said Gizmo proudly, "but now you know they could be Mentos." Bonk nodded, as though that made any sense at all. "And finally," Gizmo said with a dramatic flourish, "this glove. Make a fist and it inflates rapidly into a large bouncy balloon." "What's the purpose of that?" "Still working that bit out," said Gizmo. "It might be useful for something." Bonk pocketed the gadgets and saluted. "Brilliant work, Gizmo. You've truly outdone yourself in pointlessness." Chapter 4. The Fizz Frontier. New Zealand was as scenic as ever. Mountains, forests, and one suspiciously bubbling cola volcano in the distance. Bonk approached the hidden base disguised as a soda delivery driver, complete with a cap that read Fizzco, "Taste the Apocalypse." Inside the volcano complex, he met Mr. Fizz's assistant, a tall, efficient woman named Svetlana Popov. She was clearly far too intelligent for her surroundings. "Can I help you?" she asked coolly. Bonk attempted his best seductive smile. "They call me Bonk. Simon Bonk." "Why?" she asked flatly. "It's my name." She stared at him. "You're here to deliver soda?" "Yes, among other refreshing duties," Bonk said, leaning against a crate and immediately knocking it over. She sighed. "You are not very smooth." "That's what they said about Jazz," Bonk said, still trying to recover. "Go, before I call security." Bonk nodded, tripping over another crate as he left. "I'll be right back with your receipt." Chapter 5. Tea and Trouble. Bonk ducked into the base's cafeteria, brushing off cola foam from his jacket. A bartender eyed him curiously. "Drink?" the man asked. Bonk straightened his tie. "A cup of tea," he said confidently. "White, not black." At that exact moment, a rumble echoed through the base. An alarm blared and red lights flashed. A mechanical voice boomed. Open quote, "Mento deployment imminent." Close quote. Bonk groaned. Every single time. He grabbed the sunglasses, spotting the glowing outline of the giant Mento being loaded into the volcano chamber. "There's the bubbly bandit," he muttered. Charging toward the launch bay, Bonk encountered Mr. Fizz himself, an eccentric man in a lab coat covered in soda stains, holding a can of cola like a chalice. "You're too late, Bonk," Fizz cackled. "Soon the cola core will blow and Julian and I shall rule the fizzy heavens." Julian, a small poodle wearing a space helmet, barked in agreement. Bonk raised the ketchup bottle. "Not so fast, you carbonated crackpot." He squeezed the bottle, spraying the defizzing solution onto the cola volcano. Instantly the bubbling subsided, the foam flattened, and the volcano went eerily still. Mr. Fizz gasped. "You've defizzed my dreams," Bonk grinned. "I suppose you could say your plan's gone flat." Fizz lunged at him. Bonk, panicking, made a fist and the inflatable glove expanded to the size of a beach ball, smacking Fizz squarely in the face and launching him into his own cola pool. Julian barked twice and surrendered. Chapter 6, Aftermath. Back in London, Chief Honcho Heel leaned back in his chair, eyeing Bonk with disbelief. "So," he said slowly, "you prevented the end of the world with a ketchup bottle, sunglasses and an inflatable glove?" "Yes, sir," Bonk said proudly, "all in a day's work." Miss Coinwealth entered, holding a stack of receipts. "You've billed the agency for 41 cups of tea again, Mr. Bonk." Bonk sighed. "One day, Miss Coinwealth. One day I'll actually drink one." Chief Honcho Heel muttered, "And that will be the day I retire." Bonk saluted and backed out of the office, straight into the coat rack. Shaft final scene outside MI6. Bonk adjusted his tie, tealess but triumphant. Somewhere out there another lunatic was preparing another ridiculous plan, and when that happened, the world knew it could count on one man. Well, one available man.